Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel where I talk about career, tech, and productivity. So, this video is really interesting as we have one of the HR professional who has got a decade plus years of well diversified experience across various sectors. She has specialized in HR operations, business support, learning and development, performance management, and whatnot. And also, she is a co-founder of Smart Moves organization. So, we have a very interesting journey today to hear out. And one of the major things which most of the candidates, employees keep asking from the HR. So, we have her. So, we'll be having fun Q&A, fun conversation with her, where we'll be busting some of the myths and some of the concepts which we are just taught that this is right, this is not right. So, we have Tejal here and I would like her to introduce herself and I'm glad to have you on my chat show, Career Talks with Aditi. So welcome Tejal, and I'm glad
Thank you
and
so
thank you so much for
much.
coming here.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for giving me an opportunity to be on the platform of Aditi, and I hope I'm able to answer all the queries which you've received in your box. So to start with
Definitely.
my journey, yes. So to start with my journey, my company's name is Smart Moves. I'm the co-founder of the company, and when somebody starts a business, when you become an entrepreneur, you have a lot of things in your mind that I want to do this, I want to do that, but it fizzles out after a period of time. You have to keep evolving yourself to it, and we got a great opportunity. It's been 5 years in the business now, and we have evolved a lot. We had started from recruitments, but now we are also into policy processes, staffing, into payroll compliances, a lot of other models. And pandemic, of course, has given us a great learning of how to adapt yourself into an offline and online mode. So thank you so much, Aditi, for having me on board here for the interview.
Great, great. I think I have brought the correct person here who can give us the inner insights about the HRs, what goes on. And I think you will be the best one to answer plenty of questions which I have in my list. So I'll start with my first question, like which is very common among all our organization and all our people. They ask that how HR decides that this person is culturally fit for that particular organization or not.
Okay, a very interesting question, Aditi. We don't decide that this person is a cultural fit or not, and it has never been that a person is a cultural fit. We tailor made them. So when we go for an interview process, we ask certain questions. We asked that are they able to adapt to the situation? Is that adaptability quotient there? There is no culture fit. If I give an example wherein if a person is working in an MNC and if he wants to work in a startup, he has to set up his mind that okay, the culture will be different. MNC, there are things which are a lot of monotonous work, but in a startup he's going to get exposure to a lot of areas where he can do multitasking and learn a lot. And goes with vice versa. If a person from a startup goes to an MNC or MNC to a startup, everybody has to adjust to the culture. Every company has a different culture, different core values which he has to give. You need to imbibe that self into the employees what you're looking for. That's what is the main point. But you will not get a perfect person who's culturally fit. You have to tailor made them as per your expectations.
I think you have brought a very good point of adaptability. So I want to understand how do you judge that this person is someone who has got good adaptability skill in themselves and they will be the right candidate for us. So how do you decide it?
So we always ask those open-ended questions to the candidates who come, wherein we ask them to give examples on have they been adaptable to different situations and different circumstances, how they have overcome the challenges in when they are working with the clients. See, every client has a different challenge. Were they able to overcome those challenges? Were they positive? Sometimes a person just feels that I will not be able to do it. If he is not adaptable, then he's not fit for my organization. And adaptability has become a very crucial point to consider after the COVID pandemic. A person has to be adaptable to adjust in any scenario. We all have learned that. All were doing everything offline, but now the hiring is also happening online. Without even meeting that person, the person is hired. So adaptability,
Yes.
when we have evolved, I'm sure, everyone has to evolve themselves.
Makes sense, makes sense. Like I can completely recollect my HR rounds with the different companies which I have given. They have thrown some of the questions like how, what was your most important successful time? What was your most lowest time? How did you deal with that? What was the best project owner kind of things? How did you own those things? I think with these kind of questions, you are understanding the employee well, and based on that you understand, okay, this person is adaptable or not, right?
True, true, very true. I mean, people feel that only experienced people have these examples or to share, but even college going students, they are fresh graduates, entrants, they have a lot of things which they have done in their colleges, and they have a lot of things which they have done in a project where they must have taken the lead and overcome their challenges also. So even they are the right, there we can judge their adaptability quotient.
Yeah, like if I'm just thinking about my HR rounds, I see that in technical rounds we have got so many technical questions in that, but HR round is completely inverse, no technical questions, very basic, the things which people don't even ask about. What was your biggest achievements? What was your failures? What was your setbacks? So these kind of things are asked in the HR round. So I think I was very afraid of the HR round. Whenever I used to clear technical rounds, I was like, oh god, I'll get rejected in the HR round. So I am very curious, and even my students are curious to know that what exactly skills or what exactly they should prepare before coming to a HR round.
Okay, good, because a lot of employees or candidates have this nervousness in their mind that how should I start in an HR round. So the best thing to do is when you prepare your resume, in the resume there should be something out of the box written. I would maybe take explain you in detail in the later part, but the resume should see an HR has just 6 seconds to screen out the resume. If there is something unique in your resume, it will pop up and they will definitely look at your resume for a longer time. So that's one thing which you need to prepare yourself while resume preparation. And you should start with your chronological order introduction, that what did you do in school, then what happened in your college education, then start introducing yourself. So the chronological order is very important and it has to be very crisp. Don't stretch it up to a longer duration about introducing yourself. Don't take 2 minutes of that time. It should be very crisp manner,
Mm.
and highlight those pointers which are in your favor. It's in the employee's hand how to take up the next question. So what happens, an interviewer generally asks questions from the answers what you've given. They pick up some keywords. If you've told
Mm.
that I was good into management, so from management they'll pick up the next question. So if you want to turn the interviewer to the way you want to answer, just when you choose the words wisely when you answer that, it will be the answers will be in your favor, and they would really like to know that what you've done in what are you better at, and you will crack the interview there.
I think this is the major pro tip which I want to highlight, which Tejil just brought onto the table. Say what you know the answers, because the other person on the other side doesn't know you. So whatever you will say confidently, they will ask questions from that only. So make sure whatever you know about yourself and you are confident about yourself. So I just want to give you one example. In one of my college interview, I mentioned I love cooking, and that other person was also passionate about cooking. So he asked me that what is the English of chole, and I got blank. And I was like, okay, chole English. At that time I wasn't able to recollect. So what I learned from that interview was that no matter how small your hobby or passion is, you need to deep dive into it. You don't know what other person can ask you, and they want that detailing part and understand that deep diving things for themselves.
True. Very true.
So so yeah, so like, to this I want to ask one question. Like, nowadays, because of pandemic, people are looking for job. One is like too many jobs, so the market is right now very hot. So
Yes.
people are having multiple offers in their hand. So how they should reach to a point that this is the organization that I should look forward and I should work for. See, I feel that people only see the salary component. Like if they have given me the higher package, I should go with that. But I want to ask you that as an HR professional, what all factors are really important for a student to consider, not only the salary thing before joining the organization?
See, it's all about choices. If you have a certain skill set, and if you want to join a particular organization, do your R&D properly, the research and development to know more about that company. What are their values? Is it fit? Is the skill sets matching? Then go and prepare for your interview. Then move out to that organization, because what happens when somebody thinks that, okay, I want to join an XYZ company, but your skill sets are not match or your values don't match, and you are in the wrong place. They end up thinking that, oh my god, where am I after 2 months of joining? So it's
Mhm.
not only about salary. You have to consider a lot of factors when it comes to joining a particular industry or an organization. A salary at the entrance point, salary is just a basic component. You should see whether you will be able to explore yourself. What is the learning coming from that organization? Multitasking, are you getting that exposure? I always suggest that if somebody is starting with a career, an MNC is not the right choice, because a startup is where you will get more to learn, because you'll be doing multitasking. See, startups always have a cash crunch. So what do they do? One particular person is doing a lot of things where your learning is happening. The learning is very important at the start of your career. Do focus on that rather than focusing on the salary. And some people
Mm.
also think about the brand value when they do it. So the brand value is
Yeah.
good, but the learning is not there. So what's the point of that brand value? You've been working there doing the same monotonous job. Not good for your start point of your career. So don't
Makes
think about
sense.
the brand value, but think about the learning what you're going to get from a particular company. So do your
So I think,
R&D properly.
yeah, so I think you focused on R&D, and R&D is very important. So like if you have got four offers or five offers, research about each of them, like what value they are bringing and are they matching with your vibe, your cultural fit thing and those kind of thing, and then move on to it, right?
So
Great, great. So I think I'm loving this conversation and the kind of insights you're bringing. See, few things are which we usually know, but when those things comes from an expert, that gives us confidence. Okay, yeah, we are doing or we are thinking in the right direction. So thank you, Tejal. I'm really loving this conversation. So to this, I have one of the most important question that in this pandemic has changed the evolution of everything. So people are not getting recognition in the organization. They are working for 12, 13, 14 hours, like because of pandemic, work from home culture thing. But they're not getting the kind of recognition they should get because maybe they're not good with their conversational skills. Maybe they're not interactive with their manager. They are a workaholic who focuses on their work and nothing else. So, how this problem can be solved, and what suggestion you could give that to get that particular recognition of the kind of work they are doing?
so here, what I feel is that people not getting recognition is a myth. Employers are always watching them closely on how are they working. People who are not getting recognition, I'm sure they must have not introspected themselves that they have done something wrong, whether participating into conversations or not good at communication skills or not accountability for your work. The work has been done, but were you accountable? Was it being pushed by the manager or you yourself took an initiative to do it? So a very important factor, that accountability is there, the initiativeness, helping your colleagues, helping your peers. In the pandemic, we see people are working from online. Are you helping your peers? So employers look at this very minutely. The employees don't realize it. They have their ways and means to look at it. So the recognition always happens if you are working towards your goal and if you're working in the correct way. So it's a myth what the employees have that we are not getting recognition. I'm sure they are, because the employees are closely watching and monitoring these people. And if they have done it, then they have definitely got it. Whether it's a monetary value or whether it's the other benefits what they get it, but they have definitely been getting those benefits and recognition and appreciation from the employer.
Hmm. So I think to this, uh, self check is important. So I think you might be
That-
feeling you are getting doing 100%, but there might be some point which might be missing, like might be 1% or 2% thing which you need to do in order to get that recognition. And so for that you need to be in communication with your managers so that you both are on the same page.
Just one thing I want to add here, just a suggestion for the employees. If you feel you're not getting recognition, please sit back and make your SWOT analysis, which is a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. If you self-analyze yourself and you put those factors there, I am sure you will be able to judge yourself and you will start working in the right direction for the next appraisal or for the next promotion, what is due coming very soon for a lot of employees right now.
Right. And I think I'm also going to try that. I haven't done yet, but yeah, definitely would love to, embed your ideas with mine and get good appraisal. And thank you later.
Definitely, I would like to hear from all of them that if you've done your SWOT and have you been able to self-analyze yourself there. I would love to see this.
Yes, yes, definitely. I will be coming back to you for this for sure. So
I'm
like
here.
we so we are moving towards the end of this conversation, and like with minor questions we have, I think, covered a lot. So what suggestion, like with my previous question, this is an addition to it. So like what is the suggestion you would like to give to the employees who are working under managers? So see, manager is one, but the employees under them is 20, 30. So he needs to look up to rest of the other people. So we being in the shell, so how we should be more collaborative and more communicative with our managers in this pandemic, because we are not meeting them in person. Like I remember in office we used to have that hi hello thing, so that people had a name back, okay, this there is some girl named Aditi in our team. But now
Yeah,
everybody is remote, work from home, cameras are off. We even don't know how our team members look like. So, what's
absolutely.
your suggestion on this?
So, a lot of people have that, people joining work from home, they have that fear of missing out. Oh my God, I don't know people from my organization. I don't recognize them. One thing what you all can do is go and book a coffee conversation with your employer, with your reporting manager, or with your reportees also. This is a thing which can solve the purpose of having informal communication. Just do that. Just go and book a coffee conversation, have informal because these conversations will bring back the bonding which everybody is lacking right now, because then offline conversation is not happening. Earlier what used to happen, we used to go for coffee, we used to go for lunch and get that bonding back, but now this is not possible. So why not have the same on an online model? At your coffee time, just order a coffee and have it together. Order a pizza and have it together. Have that lunch or have that dinner together. These conversations will bring back the bonding, and the fear of missing out will also move out from you. So interact with
Great.
cross-functional teams, interact with all of them in the organization, know them better. That's what
Yeah,
everybody can do.
yeah. So like we all are moving online, so we can online chai and coffee for our team members. So schedule a call, talk to your managers, and then we can have this fun interaction. Like in my current organization, this kind of thing is there, so I'm definitely gonna participate. So
Okay.
understand the agenda behind it right now, because for now, from employee perspective, okay, that would be something which we need to do. But I got your point that this is something to bring the offline interaction which we are missing right now to online, and that is why our HRs are putting so many efforts for those kind of activities.
So here one more thing, we've personally experienced this with employers. What we've done it, where when these coffee conversations started, everybody used to love it. That wow, thank God, now we know the person who's joined the team. We've seen their faces at least. And what we did was a small gesture from the employer that he used to sponsor these coffees or a small
Yes.
meal or something. So that was a good gesture. With the employees also loved it. That wow, it is being sponsored by our own employer. Uh, since we not having into coffee, at the offline model, this is something what we did it, and it was absolutely loved by everyone.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So, like, I loved this conversation, and you have busted so many myths inside mind brain also. And I feel the audience would be loving this conversation because it has got so many meaningful insights with each of your words which you have thrown here. So, thank you so much, Tejal, for coming here and bringing up the good insights of the HR. And I would love to hear back from you that how was your experience with Career Talks with Aditi?
Definitely, it was an amazing. I mean, I'm happy that I'm able to answer, and this is going to be a guidance for a lot of people, a lot of candidates who are looking for a job. And I'll be happy that if somebody gets through these insights and skills, I'll be happy to know that. So I'm sure. I mean, you can drop into Aditi if it was helpful.
Yes, and of course, to all, I'll provide all the links where you can, flood your queries with Tejal. Ask her directly about your HR questions, whatever your experience, whatever you think. She would love to help you all, and she has been always helping people out there with the HR doubts. So don't worry, I'll provide everything on my description box. So don't forget to check my description box for contacting Tejal Thakral. So,
Thank you so much,
yeah.
Aditi.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tejal, for coming. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye bye. See you. You too. Bye bye.